right. Good Wednesday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I am your meteorologist, Jesse Peterson, and let's go in and talk about the weather for your Wednesday evening going into your future. Hopefully, everyone is having a fantastic Wednesday, and we have some things that we're going to talk about tonight. Obviously, we will first off say we've made it halfway through the week. It is Wednesday evening, so give yourself a round of applause for that. Made it all the way to Wednesday evening. Only have Thursday and Friday left to go, and we will be to the weekend. That's the first thing. Second thing, if you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button yet, go on and do so. We are at 597 subscribers, trying to get to 600. We are 3 subscribers away. That is it. Just 3 subscribers away from that main goal. Of 600 subscribers. 600 subscribers will have the Q&A as normal, but only 3 away. And that's it. So just share it to 3 people that you know. Just 3 people. That's the second thing. Also share it as well. Sharing is caring. So please go and share with all the people that you know as well. So what are we going to talk about tonight? So obviously, as you can see by the screen, it says, what does the last half of October look like? And so that's going to be the main thing that we're going to be talking about. But also, we're going to talk about the current conditions, what's going on right now throughout the state. Also, what's going on tonight throughout the state. We also talk about pretty much the tropics, and then that's about it, because everything else is included inside of that last half of October forecast. So other than that, that's all that we're going to really talk about tonight. So starting off, what is going on currently throughout the entire state of South Carolina? Absolutely nothing. If you banked on that, which I believe most people probably did, no precipitation is falling. Now, throughout the entire U.S., that's obviously a bit of a different story. Rainfall going on in Iowa as well as Illinois. We also do have some rainfall going on over there inside of the Four Corners region of Utah, going into Colorado and New Mexico and parts of Arizona. Some snowfall potentially going on over there in Utah. Not Utah, but Nevada. Nevada as well. Utah may have a little bit, but mainly I'm looking inside of Nevada right now in terms of that snowfall. Rainfall also goes into Idaho, to Montana, to Wyoming, also to North Dakota as well. Now, if we go on to our cloud cover for right now, it looks relatively clear out there. No cloud cover really in sight. It was a really nice day today. I don't even know if I even saw a cloud today in the sky from where I was. Don't even know. I was looking at the sky for a good little bit, and I didn't see any. So maybe you saw some. If you saw some, go on and leave it inside the comments right now that you did see some. Now for our cloud cover for the future. You just go in and push this forward, and you can see it's going to stay relatively clear. You can see that there is like some development, potentially, of some patchy fog, especially near like bodies of water. Like lakes, rivers, etc. Maybe even near the Atlantic. But you can kind of see it start to pop up a little bit, kind of stay there. I can see like in Charleston County, I can see it over there inside of Dorchester County a little bit, in Berkeley County a little bit, and maybe in some other areas as well, near those bodies of water. So some fog is indeed possible tomorrow. So make sure that you're watching for that as you go into tonight and tomorrow morning. Current temperatures right now, 67 in Columbia as well as 66 in Orangeburg, 66 in Sumter, and even 65 in Somerville, 64 in Georgetown, and 66 in Murrells Inlet, 66 also inside of Myrtle Beach and North Myrtle Beach, 64 in Conway as well as 66 also inside of Charleston, 66 also in Gaffney, Spartanburg, in Rock Hill, 65 inside of York, and 68 in Clemson, 67 in Anderson, and 65 in Greenwood. So everyone seems to be in the 60s or around that 66 mark. Low temperatures for tonight, 56 in Greenville as well as 54 inside of Spartanburg, 56 also in Rock Hill and Camden, 57 in Columbia, Sumter, Aiken, going into Moncks Corner is going to be around 56, 60 in Charleston, at 55 in Georgetown, 63 in Hilton Head, and 57 in Myrtle Beach. We also do have around 56 or 54 inside of Florence, and 53 in Kingstree, Dillon, and 55 up there near Cheraw. Rainfall for tonight, going into tomorrow, no rainfall is expected. No rainfall is expected. Crazy score for tonight. If you have no idea what the crazy score is, the score that we see how crazy the weather is inside of South Carolina. We're at a 9 inside the calm category. That is because it's going to be dry. It's going to be cool, comfortable, clear. Maybe some patchy fog in the low country Grand Strand areas. But other than that, everything else is just going to be a normal, stable night. SPC outlook for tonight. Obviously, no thunderstorms are expected for tonight or tomorrow. Friday, same thing. Excessive rainfall is not expected either, but on day 5 here, this is Sunday. Sunday, we get kind of close to some isolated flash flooding. This is obviously the cold front that's going to be moving through as we get into like this weekend. And it brings some isolated flash flooding over here to portions like of western North Carolina, eastern Tennessee, going into Kentucky, West Virginia, going into Ohio, and western Pennsylvania, but does not quite get close to us right here on Sunday. So let's go in and check out the models now. Starting off tonight, 9 o'clock p.m. as normal. We go in and push this forward, and you can probably guess what we're going to see on this model. Absolutely nothing. It's going to be another nice night going into another nice day tomorrow. And as we go into the afternoon tomorrow, you can kind of see like some isolated shower activity that goes on right off the coast of us. But again, nothing really that you need to be prepared for, anything like that. Even as you go into later tomorrow night, going into early Friday morning, and even Friday afternoon, it looks good. Now, if we go even further into the future, so this right here, this is Friday afternoon going into Friday evening. It looks like that there goes all that rainfall that we could be watching for, that we need to be watching for, as it brings the potential for that isolated flash flooding over there in western North Carolina and eastern Tennessee. Not quite to us, but it does bring us some rainfall, especially up there in the upstate, and a high pressure takes over right after it. Now, this is where we're starting to kind of get into that portion to where we are talking about, what will indeed happen as we go into the last half of October. That's what we're really looking at right now. And so, if we go on and continue, starting back off here at 8 p.m. the 17th, you can see that, for the most part, except for that little system right here, and maybe another little cold front that tries to push through a little bit after that as well on the 23rd, that is like 7 days out from now. Another cold front tries to move through, and then a high pressure pushes in, and then another cold front will try to get through, but this one seems to be tries to get a little bit more stationary. Might become a stationary front, still 300 plus hours out, so can't say for sure exactly what's going to happen there, but that goes into like October the 30th, the 31st, and then the 31st on Halloween is just where it stops at. Can't go any further than that. But the real deadline that we really shouldn't really be talking about too much in depth for is October the 28th. Once you get to the 28th, it's just way too far out, 300 plus hours. But, the only reason and the only way that I'm really seeing moisture and that convection get to us is really just from those cold fronts. Now, those cold fronts coming in all the way from the west, that's why they're receiving excessive rainfall over there in like California just a couple of days ago. And also why they're receiving snow in some areas as well, and why severe weather is about to happen as well into portions of the Ohio Valley and then also going into portions of the central U.S. It's because of this cold front that's about to pass us on around Sunday. And if we go into look at the temperatures, just in general, we start off here, it's overall, it's a bit cooler than average, but not, anything that we aren't surprised by or anything like that. But it could be, cooler, especially tomorrow night as well. But that warm air really tries to kick back in as you get into the 19th. And there goes the cold front. Cold front pushes in, but that high pressure immediately retakes back over, and it starts to get right back to being warm, right back to being not necessarily hot, I guess, unless, like high 70s. Well, actually, I see maybe even some mid to high 80s actually on this map as of October the 22nd. So we're not done with the 80s. Definitely not done with the 80s yet. But going back, definitely it's going to continue to be warm to some people, maybe hot. And then as you get through to around like the 24th, I believe this is when the next cold front moves through. Yes, here it is right here. It pushes through. Doesn't really do too much. I mean, yes, it brings some cool air at maybe around like the 24th, the 25th, the 26th. And it lingers a little bit more until you get to around like the, I'd honestly say around like the 29th. It was when that warm air pushes back in. And then look at this right here. This is, 300 plus hours out, 300, almost 400 hours out at this point. But that cold front over there to the west bringing a whole bunch of cold air if this was to occur. So we're pretty much just in this period. This pretty much, if this last half of October is really something, it's just going to be a roller coaster. You get to the top of the roller coaster, you have that anticipation of going down. And, you have loop-de-loops, you have all that kind of stuff once you go into a roller coaster. And it's just going to be a roller coaster of warm and cool air, just switching back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with each other. And then just whichever one is the most dominant one, that one will succeed. And so it's going to be this whole just thing. And when some cold fronts even move through, some might not even last that long. Some of them may only last around like a day or so where you can really feel that cool air. But then the next day, the high pressure gets right back going and it starts to get warmer than average immediately. Now, that does not mean that temperature still won't be a bit cooler. It just technically means that for this time of year, it is a bit warmer than what we would normally see. So, for example, if we go on and right after that cold front moves past us later this week, going to early next week, you see how it starts to get warmer immediately? I mean, the temperatures, for some of us are still in the 80s, but a lot of us still inside of the low 70s, and that's at 2 p.m. So, you might be like, okay, well, that's cool. That's cool. So why does it say above average? Just because for this time of year, it's going to be above average. The temperatures that we're seeing here are actually going to be more above average than what we normally see for this time of year. So that's pretty much the most part. For the most part, that's pretty much all. That's pretty much all. I can show you this one, not this one. I have to go to this one. No, I can't go to that one either. Okay, well, I might have to go to this real quick. Go to that works. There we go. All right. So, I mean, here's a look at the entire U.S., though. If you go on, obviously, this is off a day-to-day basis. But the reason why it's, it's a little bit warmer is because you have, which let me go and get my pen, too. This might be a little bit better. That's not my pen. This is my pen. So, this warm air that's all around us right now is due to this ridge that is here. Now, that's going to continue to move its way to the east, which is why we have that high pressure that is there with us at that time. And so you can see this actual trough over here. This is indeed the cold front that's going to continue moving its way to the east. And so that's what we will see. Now, you continue to push that forward even more. There goes the cold front. This is the 19th, so this is Sunday right here. Trough right here, cold front pushing east into South Carolina. That ridge is now out of there. And while we are receiving, and while, like up here inside of the Midwest, they're going to be receiving cooler than average temperatures. Over here, we're going to receive some as well. They're going to start receiving some warmer and some more nicer weather over here in the West, while we will be receiving our weather over here inside of the East. And like I said, it won't last too long. That high pressure will stay, for the most part, that high pressure right here will pretty much be in this area. And so it's going to cause us to get some nice weather all throughout down here from Arizona all the way over into New Mexico, over to Texas, all the way over to Florida, all the way over to where we are. You can see exactly what it looks like. Even once we go back to this specific area, you go to the GFS, this is what it looks like, and then you can even see it if you look at precipitation. So a lot of meteorology was just used there, but hopefully I didn't lose anybody. Hopefully I did not lose anybody. If you have any questions about that, you can indeed ask me. But that is all that I have to say there. So let's go on and talk about the tropics. So Lorenzo was the only storm out here. It's indeed now a remnant, meaning that it's done. They're not going to update it anymore. In fact, there's not even a cone for it anymore. It's just completely gone. There it is. But it's completely done. Remnants of Lorenzo dissipated at 5 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, which is pretty much just Eastern Standard Time today. So we're not really looking for anything else past that. And so after Lorenzo is done, obviously we have that other area that we were watching for last night. If you remember last night, we were indeed talking about the other area behind Lorenzo that could potentially start something and could potentially that we have to watch for. If you want to look at it right here, Lorenzo's over here. It's going to continue to move its way through. But look right over here, inside of the Atlantic, this area right here to the west. This one is still continuing to go more to the west. It's still kind of gaining some steam as it goes just to the north of South America into the Caribbean Sea. Now that will, for the most part, it looks like most models still like it kind of going into this area, not quite over towards us in the U.S., but you never know what could happen after. You can see right here you have a couple that go up to the north a little bit. You have a couple that goes over to the west. So it really just what happens. This is 10 days out right now, so we're still way too far out to say exactly what's going to happen here. But other than that, I see that system right there. And overall, I can see this thing going all over the place. I can see it going this way. I can see it going up, maybe this way, up to the north. Maybe it might go this way. It might go this way. We just don't know. Just way too far out to tell. And other than that, though, that's the only one I'm really watching for because everything else is, it looks quiet out there in the main development region during that time frame. But that is all that I have here. So let's go on and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. I'm going to move my way in. Starting off with my Aunt Lula, who comes in first tonight, says, "Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you." He also says, "Nice day today. Beautiful weather. I loved it. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. It was a nice day today. Very nice." Mr. Chris comes in and says, "Good evening, everyone. Hope y'all had a great day. Remember to go and hit those 2 buttons. Started off a little cool, but turned out nice in Monk's Corner." Well, first off, absolutely correct. Make sure you go and hit those 2 buttons. We have 12 people in here watching, and we only have 5 likes. If you are a part of that 7 that have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. It's free, and you can change your mind at any time. My Nana comes in and says, "Hello, Jay. Hello to you." And then my cousin Cheryl comes in and says, "Good evening, weatherman. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone had a pleasant day. It was a nice day in Philly. Women, I love how you give the weather. Keep up the good work. I love you, Cheryl." Thank you so much for that comment as well. Love you as well. And glad that it was a nice day. And thank you so much for that weather update. My Aunt Lula comes back in and says, "I love the fall weather." In terms of, for me, in terms of fall weather, y'all know I'm a summer type of person. Summer, spring. I don't, fall and winter, especially fall. I just find fall to be a little bit boring. But that's just me. That might just be me, most likely. If I go on back here and check everybody else's, Mr. Chris says all clear in Monk's Corner today. Glad to hear that as well. Same thing for where I was. I did not see a single cloud in the sky pretty much all day. Mr. Anthony said, "Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you." My Aunt Cindy comes in and says, "Good evening. Return home from nonstop rain in South Carolina." Well, over here, luckily, it is, at least for now, it's dry. Even if I go in and look at the map right now, I don't see any sort of rainfall. Matters, I guess, where you were, unless you're saying that you were inside of South Carolina. But for now, there's nothing really going on right now. So that is that. And then Mr. Chris coming back and said I agree on that. And no wonder people who's getting sick. The roller coaster up and down temperatures. Yeah, in terms of temperature fluctuations, that can indeed, you know, make people like sicknesses come through and all that kind of stuff. So I do understand that as well. Just a significant change from temperature to high temperatures to low temperatures to high to low, and from cold fronts passing through, and then especially during this time of year. And that is all. So that if you want to go on and leave something else, you can by going on and being a subscriber to the channel. You have to be a subscriber if you want to go on and leave a chat. So let's go on and talk about the 4 locations outside of South Carolina. You might be asking, what in the world are you talking about? 4 locations? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. We're going to go in a different order today. Usually do San Antonio first. Let's start with Raleigh first today. We'll go Raleigh, Philadelphia, then we'll go Duncan, and then we'll go to San Antonio last. But starting off with Raleigh first, you have low temperatures tonight at 53, high temperatures tomorrow at 68, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 44. No precipitation is expected at this time. And in terms of excessive rainfall and severe weather, nothing for you. Nothing for you here. So it's looking like it's going to still continue to be nice over there. For Philadelphia, you have low temperatures tonight at 44, high temperatures tomorrow at 61, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 42. No precipitation is expected at this time. And no severe weather and no excessive rainfall is either. So you're good here too. Then for Duncan, low temperatures tonight 57, high temperatures tomorrow 85, and then low temperatures tomorrow night 62. No precipitation is expected. Severe weather is possible. On Friday, isolated isolated severe storms is possible. I know. Isolated severe storms are possible on Friday. Now that is for right now, still, I believe we're still in that too far out zone to talk about exact hazards. But from everything else that I see from this past storm system for what it's doing, it's really just wind and hail. But we'll see what happens though. Wind and hail seems to be the biggest ones. No excessive rainfall for you though. And then San Antonio being the last one, low temperatures tonight at 67, high temperatures tomorrow at 88, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 69. There is indeed no precipitation that is expected at this time, and no excessive rainfall / severe weather either. What is going on throughout the entire U.S. weather news-wise? Well, I just closed it out. I don't know why I just did that. It says a storm system moving east will bring widespread showers and thunderstorms over parts of the northern plains to the southern plains, and also inside the upper Great Lakes through Friday. Heavy snow will continue over parts of the northern Rockies. We also do, in fact, have some dense fog. Did not mean to do that. Dense fog that will go on from eastern North Dakota as well as southwestern Minnesota and even northwestern Iowa. Even some freezing that will go on as well in western Pennsylvania or some frost at least from western Pennsylvania going into eastern Ohio, New York, Virginia, even Maryland, Washington, D.C., West Virginia as well. And some freezing will definitely occur out west though. Air quality alerts still go out for the DFW area. That is for pretty much they're just telling you not to be outside for too long. And so that is all that I see here. So let me go back and check out the chat. Thad comes in and says, good evening, Joseph. I trust all is well. All is well. Thank you so much for asking. Hopefully all is well with you. My mom comes in and says, I love the fall weather and the fall colors. I know a lot of people are like that. I know a lot of people just go to the mountains for vacation just to see the colors of the trees and plants and all that kind of stuff. But, me personally, I'm just not that fixated into it. I just turns the color. That's just me, though. That's just me. And so that's all in the chat from me. Did we get any pictures tonight? If you want to send me a picture, you can by sending it to scweather360@gmail.com. Again, that is scweather360@gmail.com. I have not gotten anything. So, not received anything. So, I am assuming that we don't have anything. So, that is all that I have to say for tonight. If you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button yet, go ahead and do so. We're at 597, trying to get to that main goal of 600. Only 3 subscribers away. That's it. 3 subscribers away. There's at least one person that you know that you have not shared it to yet. Let's go on and get it shared out. It could be your friend. It could be a family member. It could be even the person that you don't like the most. But, like I say every night, even though you don't like them, go on and share it. Give them at least a weather forecast, and you never have to talk to them again. That is all. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday evening. I'll be back tomorrow morning with your Thursday morning forecast update.